Hey guys, welcome to the video. So let's get right into it. So basically before we get into it, I'd suggest if you haven't seen part 1, go back and watch that. I will insert that just on the side here. But if you have seen part 1, this is Stacky, and well, Staccato's his full name, but basically if only this 13.3 POA was 16.3, because he honestly is so athletic. Let's just get into it and I will explain. So let's just completely ignore me, but like this pony's like he's so like he gets like okay, he's such a push button athletic pony, honestly. Like I knew like hardly anything and he was so patient with me. So that was one of my first times jumping him, like a 1'3", just like playing around. And then this was another day, and this was my first time jumping 2'3", and of course he jumps it like it's nothing. He's just such a pretty mover. He's such a gorgeous mover. And jumping 2 feet, he just puts up with me. But here's jumping 2'3" again, and he just sets up the striding because I had no clue how to do that, and he does it perfectly. This is the next horse. So this is Summer. She is a Western horse, and one day when someone was riding her Western, she jumped over this thing. So after, the girl was like, do you want to like hop on her and try her jumping? So I did. Like, I swapped her in an English saddle, and can I just say, it's sad that this horse isn't at the barn anymore, because she honestly could have been a jumper. Like, not like super high, but I'm just saying, like, she could have been a jumper. Like, the nice thing about her is she was forward, so you weren't having to like push her to the jumps. Like, yeah, she's not perfect, but for her first time jumping, like, look at like how much she picks up her feet just naturally. Like, she's like, I just really liked how she moved over the jumps. She was a really good girl. I don't look good at all, but you know, did I look good in any of these videos? Probably not. This is Annie. So Annie is a quarter horse, and she was Western, not English. And so after doing barrels for a while, when I was riding her here, I thought, like, I want to try her jumping. And so we went over the first few jumps. What I did not think through is that barrel horses like to go, and I couldn't stop her a lot of the times when I got her cantering. So I got her going, and then she'd go and go and go and go, and it's like, how do I stop her? So I'm like, I'll take her over another jump, and she keeps going and keeps going. And then I finally get her to slow down there. But it's like some of these clips, I remember one of the clips, I just kept going around and around and around and around. I don't know if I put that in because it would probably get boring, but I remember not being able to stop her very well, except for in that one spot there. And yeah, she was getting a little stubborn here. I can't remember if she knocked one of the poles or something, or she just didn't like the yellow jump. But I tried taking her up to this jump like so many times, and I don't think I could ever get her over. Like, I don't think I got her over it at all, like the first time. Like, I didn't really know why she was backing up at that point. I'm just like, am I doing something wrong? And like, now looking at it, like, I should really be like loosening my reins more, because she's thinking I'm wanting her to back up. Like, yes, it was her being scared and not wanting to go over the jump, but it was also like me not knowing how to deal with this stuff at my point in riding. So I'm gonna speed it up a bit so that it's not extremely boring, and we'll get to the part where it's like the last 2 tries trying to get over it. And yeah, it was kind of like, at this point I didn't, like, I knew I wasn't supposed to let her refuse the jumps, but I was just kind of at the point that I didn't really know how to not have her refuse the jumps. So that's where some of, like, the more experienced riders will, like, try to give her a bit of help. So you'll hear that right now.
Left leg. Might have to get a little mad at her. Give her a little growly, like that. Get up! Good, excellent. Come do the yellow. Ooh, look at that flying change. So jealous. Eyes up. Yeah. Come right around and go again. Yeah, keep her trotting, keep her trotting. Take the music out of your bed. Stop now.
Then we raced one of the jumps, and that was the first try at it. And then the second time we trotted in, and it turned out nicer. And then on to the next pony. This is Charlie, and this is when I did not know about leads again. And yeah, honestly, I taught this pony a lot of patience, and he taught me a lot of stubbornness. And honestly, he put up with me a lot though, so you gotta give it to him for dealing with my interestingness. Don't get me wrong, he had his bratty moments too, but he put up with a lot for me now looking at this, honestly. Then a bit later, when I got more confident jumping him, I jumped him like 2'1" or 2" there. And this pony is a very good jumper, honestly. I think he's like a Welsh Shetland cross or something. But yeah, he was really good then. This was another one of the rides, and it was really good except for one of the jumps later, but I'll talk about that when we get to it. So we started over these ones. He's a really good boy for this part. Then we came around to here. Did a bit of a bending line. He got the right lead out of the jump. I didn't even know that that was a thing at that point, that you were supposed to do that, but he just did it. He knew. Then we came around to these on the wrong lead. We went over those. Kind of wonky, but okay. Then we came around the outside. And then we went to go to the last jump. Now, the thing with this jump is I had raised it earlier because he was doing so well, and that was kind of a mistake because then he hit his foot on it, and then he kept refusing it as we went up to it. So that's what was happening at this jump. He kept stopping, and so it wasn't too pretty, honestly. I was not doing great, but then he went over it, and so I was really happy with that. So, moving on. The last pony of the video is Ginger. And can we just say, Ginger honestly had come such a long way since the last time I rode her. Like, Ginger tends to refuse jumps, or at least she did back then. And she just was being so good this day. Like, yes, they're small, but still, she was like, she'd refuse anything. So I was so proud of her. Again, didn't know that it was a thing to try and get them to be on the right lead, or what a lead even was, so we're going to ignore that. But honestly, yeah, she was such a good girl then too. And that is it for this video. I forgot to do the outro. And now it's too late for me to be too noisy to do an outro. So this is what you guys are gonna get. But yeah, basically tune in next week for the rest of the riding journey, if I can even fit that all into one more clip. This might be like a 4 or 5 part video. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and go out there and love your ponies. Goodbye.